tens of thousands of Toastmasters worldwide embark on a journey called the International Speech Contest. They walk a long and tiring road, hoping to reach a magical place called the Big Stage. At the World Championship of Public Speaking in 2014 and 2015, our next keynote speaker, JJeffley, took this journey and made it to the finals. Yeah. He stood on the big stage in front of 2,500 people and shared a message of triumph over tragedy. Today, he shares his insights and experience from those journeys and shares tips on what it takes to make it to the World Championships. Please welcome JJeffley, The Road to Oz. The Road to Oz, JJeffley.
Good morning, District 39. I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you to George, to Lance, to Sandra, wherever she is, there she is, for inviting me to come before you today. And I want to say thank you to each of you for making it from wherever you came from this morning to be here, to share in this journey called Toastmasters, and to learn and grow with each other. So give yourselves a round of applause. The road to Oz. I was told that you had a Wizard of Oz theme last fall at your district conference. I didn't know that before I put this together. There's something about serendipity. What it takes to get to the World Championships of Public Speaking. How many of you have actually been to the World Championships? Great. How many of you want to get there as a speaker? Cool. I have a couple of things to share with you that might help. If anybody knows me, I love puns, and so that's why Oz stuck with me, and I related it to the Wizard of Oz. How many of you do not know this story, the Wizard of Oz? You're not that big. Okay, a little background. There's a movie in 1939. It's a story about a little girl named Dorothy. She has a dog named Toto. They live on a farm in Kansas. And she lives with her Auntie Em and Uncle Hickory and a few farm hands who help out with the chickens and the pigs and whatnot. In Kansas, we have tornadoes. Here in the Bay Area, we have earthquakes. There we have tornadoes. And a big twister was coming. Everybody ran to the storm cellar. They have cellars there. Most of us don't here. They ran down to the storm cellar. Dorothy was out chasing the little dog. She got separated. She ran in the house. The tornado was coming. It was blowing things all around. Something hit her in the head. She passed out. In her hallucination, she dreamt that the twister picked up the house, took it all the way to this magical place called Oz, dropped it down in the middle of Munchkin Land on top of a wicked witch. The Wicked Witch of the East. These were Munchkins paying homage to her after she killed the Wicked Witch of the East. Of course, she incurred the wrath of her sister, the Wicked Witch of the West, who decided she was going to get her and her little dog. Dorothy soon realized she was not in Kansas anymore. All she wanted to do was get home. How do I get home? Follow the yellow brick road. Dorothy was kind of gullible. Okay, so she grabs the dog and she starts following the yellow brick road. Along the way, she meets these three interesting companions, all of whom had needs of their own. Eventually, she was tormented by the Wicked Witch of the West and the flying monkeys. Off they go to the Emerald City, where they hope to find the great Wizard of Oz, who could make all of their dreams come true. What were their dreams? Well, for the Tin Man, he wanted to have a heart. Dorothy just wanted to get home. The Scarecrow wanted a brain. He wanted to be smart. And the Cowardly Lion, He wanted courage. Well, they make it to the wizard, and he tells them, yes, I can grant all of your wishes, but you got to do something for me first. So what's that? Well, go to the Wicked Witch of the West and steal her broom and bring it back to me. What did he say? I said, go to the Wicked Witch of the West, steal her broom, and bring it back to me. And then I will grant you all of your wishes. Okay. So they mosey on off and they run in with the Wicked Witch of the West and they melt her with water. She didn't know that. She was trying to put the fire out on the scarecrow and it was melting her! They go back to the wizard. Here's the broom. The scarecrow gets what? His brain. And the Tin Man gets what? His heart. And the lion gets courage. And Dorothy, with her fabulous red slippers, her ruby slippers, she gets what? To go home. Yay. Kinda, sorta. Yeah, she was home all along. Right? And once she regains consciousness, she is surrounded by all of her family and loved ones. And Dorothy issues that famous line, what is it? There's no place like home. Of course. So what does that have to do with the World Championship of Public Speaking? For me, it's a similar journey. There are about 30,000 Dorothys in Toastmasters. Some of you might be a Dorothy. Who's a Dorothy? All of you are Dorothys. Wonderful. And every year, about 30,000 of the Dorothys embark on their journey to the Emerald City in the hopes of being on the big stage, and it really is a big stage, trust me, at the World Championships of Public Speaking. Except it's not really the Emerald City. This year it's Washington, D.C. Woo! If you've never been to an international convention, go. It is amazing. It is potentially life-changing. The first time I went in 2014 in Malaysia, I finally got that Toastmasters is an international organization. And it wasn't just the opening ceremony with all of the flags parading in, representatives from the various countries. It was the fact that for a few days, people from all around the world gathered in one place, and there was no strife. There was no war, there was no division, there was no thing that separates us out in the real world. We were all just Toastmasters, helping and serving each other. And my thought then was about the potential of the organization. If we have the ability to do that with 3,000 people for 3 days, what else is possible for us in the world? Thank you. With me on the big stage in 2014 in Malaysia. And be again on the big stage in 2015 in Las Vegas. So what I want to share with you in my time are some lessons, some tips, and experiences that might help you on your journey down your yellow brick roads in Washington, D.C. The first thing I want you to think about is why? Why would you want to do this? Do you have any idea what you're setting yourselves up for? Really, you need to think about this. This is not a small task. It is no light undertaking. You're going to spend an incredible amount of time writing speeches, rewriting speeches, editing speeches, giving speeches, and then doing all of that again and again and again and again and again. Who's a perfectionist? You should stop right now. You will never get to a point in your speech where you actually like it, or get some therapy for your perfectionism. You're going to spend a lot of money. It's not cheap. Toastmasters does cover the cheapest possible, no offense, coach class airfare ticket to the place. Everything else is out of your own pocket. Your hotel, your meals, your ground transportation, any incidentals, anything like that. Not complaining, I'm just saying. And there's an incredible amount of mental, physical, and emotional energy that you will expend trying to get your message out. It's like signing up to be an Olympic athlete in a way. It doesn't look like an Olympic athlete. I'm just saying it's an analogy. Work with me. It requires a tremendous investment. So if you really want to do this, you got to go all in. This is not a thing where you just kind of stick your toe in the wire. You got to commit to this. There are 3 reasons you might consider doing this. 1, you will grow. You will grow. You will learn something about yourself. You will learn something about writing speeches. You will learn something about delivery. You will learn something about connecting with your audience and sharing a message with them. Another reason is you will build your confidence. It's one thing to speak in front of other distinguished Toastmasters in your club. It's another thing to speak in front of dozens of them in your area contest. It's a whole other thing to speak in front of maybe a few hundred at your division contest and maybe more at your district contest. And then it gets real. You win your district contest, you are on a much larger stage, probably in front of anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 people. Oh my! And if you win that, you get to be on the giant stage. And it really is a big stage. Did I say that? It really is a big stage. I am not, oh wow. I am planning my gesture and my movement to go from here to here. But now I've got to do that in about 100 feet or more. And you'll find yourself in front of 2,500 to 3,000 people. Another reason you might consider this is relationships. You get a chance to meet people from around the globe and figure out we're really not all that different from each other. We have so much more in common than we have that divides us. After my experiences in the World Championships, I probably gained 500 Facebook friends. None of whom, well, some of whom I've actually met at the international conferences. A lot of them are friends of theirs or other club members that are associated with them. And I get a request, who is this? I don't know this person. And I look at mutual friends. Okay, are they Toastmasters? Yes. I click yes. If they're associated with Toastmasters, I just click yes. And then the moment they do something silly on my wall, delete. No, I'm teasing. I might have a conversation with them, but I just say yes because I know the kind of people that this organization attracts. And I want to be associated with that. It nourishes me, and it will nourish you too. There's one more reason you might want to consider doing this. And it's something that President John F. Kennedy said a long time ago. He said the only reason to give a speech is to change the world. I'll wait till you get a shot at it. Thank you. Some people say, well, I'd like to do it, but I don't know what to talk about. Anybody struggle with coming up with speech topics? Read the paper. Watch the news, pay attention to your Facebook feed, notice what ticks you off. There's no shortage of things to talk about. Here's one. 1/4 of the global prison population is in the United States. Here's a topic. Here's another one. In more than half of all U.S. states, the highest paid public employee is a football coach. Which might have something to do with the next one, which is that 1 in 4 children in America grow up without learning how to read. They know how to play a cover 2 defense, but they can't read cover 2. In the United States in 2014, police killed 1,100 people. In that same year, police in Canada only killed 14. China, only 12. Germany found a way to have its police force kill no one. If you want to change the world, if you want to find something to talk about, you don't have to look very far. I just gave you 4. When they went to the wizard, he said, you should consider yourselves lucky that I'm granting you an audience tomorrow instead of 20 years from now. Well, you're granted an audience every week, every other week, every month in your Toastmasters clubs. And if that doesn't work for your schedule, there are other clubs you can go to. And they'll let you speak too. Ask me how I know. When you stand on that stage, you have an opportunity to say something that influences that world. You have a chance to make a difference in someone's life. Do not take that lightly. Why do I compete? It's not about the medals. It's not about the trophies. It's about that. It's about a chance to say something that gives a person hope. The greatest reward I've ever gotten is at the end of the speech when somebody came up to me and said, "What you just said is my life." Thank you. I feel like I can tackle it now. Drop the mic. My work is done for that person in that speech on that day. Some of you might think, oh, that sounds huge. Change the world? Who am I? You're a person who can. But if you can't hold that idea right now, that you're here to actually change the world, I might invite you to do this. If your dreams don't scare you, dream bigger. Dream until you are frightened. Dream until you scare yourself. Ooh! I just can't imagine the thing I just imagined. I don't know what to do with myself. Okay, so keep working at it until you grow into the person who can make that come true. Maybe your thing right now isn't to change the world, but maybe you can do something in the world of District 39. Maybe you can say something that changes this world. Or maybe you can say something that changes the world of your family. Words have power. Or maybe you can say something that changes you. I meant to ask you earlier. I didn't see you. My apologies. But right now you're
Slam the
thinking,
door again. Let me slam the door one more time.
thank you. So what can you do to change your world? Let me share with you some lessons that I've learned in my journey. In order to compete, you need to have 6 speeches done in your Competent Communicator Manual. If you haven't gotten that far, line up 4, 5, 6 more speaking days before your next club contest. You need to be a member in good standing, and your club also has to be in good standing. You got those 3 things accomplished, you can now compete in the international contest. You don't have to have 6 speeches done to compete in table topics, but that only goes to district. The next thing you need to do is just keep winning. And one, then win the next, then win the next. You got your club, your area, your division, your district, regionals, and then you get to the big stage. I gotta keep winning? Yes. How do I do that? Keep inspiring people. Keep sharing your story. Keep being real. Keep telling your truth. Keep making people laugh and think. And on occasion, perhaps, shed a tear. Don't just do one of those. You want to connect head and heart together. My first go around at this, I had a moment where I thought, you know, if I only had a brain. If only I were a little smarter than I currently am. And it's amazing because some people without brains do an awful lot of talking. I was so tempted. I was so tempted. You're wondering, oh, who's he going to put up here next? What picture is he going to? No, I'm not going to go with that one. Lesson number 1, speak at Toastmasters clubs. Once you have won through your district, and even before then, go to other clubs. Speak. Speak as much as you can, as often as you can. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes what? Perfect. Practice makes consistent. Practice makes permanent. Practice makes comfortable. Practice makes familiar. I'm assuming that you're practicing good things that you will make permanent. But speak at as many clubs as you can. None of us is as smart as all of us. It's an old Japanese proverb. And that's one of the reasons why I go to as many clubs as I can and speak, or special functions like this. Because I get feedback from the people there, and I learn and grow from that. If I'm only getting feedback from my club, no matter how wonderful they are, I'm missing out on something. We got great people in District 57, just like you have here in District 39. But you know what? I get to be a better speaker because I came to District 39. And you, woo-hoo! Woo! Yes! But only if you give me feedback. Really, we get to do that? Absolutely. JJeffley, Facebook, look me up. We got great people and we support each other, much like you do here. Lesson number 2, get a coach. I sort of kind of did this my first go-round. I reached out to a couple of world champions. I sent them my speech. They reviewed it and sent me notes back. But I just sort of stuck my toe in the water. I didn't jump in. I wasn't fully committed. I should have hired a former world champion or somebody who had been there on the big stage and really allowed them to put me under their wing. I didn't do that. Get a coach. Find somebody who has been there. It's great if you get a coach in your area. I'm sure you have excellent speakers here. But there's something different about somebody who's actually been there and experienced it and knows what it takes. I wonder if you know anybody like that who might be able to help you. I'm trying to think of a name. Oh! Lesson number 3. Write 2 speeches. I'm glad you asked. When you make it to the finals, Toastmasters will tell you you have to have a new speech for the finals. You cannot use the speech that got you from club through district through semifinals. You can use your district speech in the semifinals. Finals, brand new speech. What you do not want to do is get to the finals, win your semifinal, and then realize, I don't have a speech. And I've got somewhere between 24 and 48 hours to write one. Yeah, there's usually a day or 2 depending on when your semifinal round was and the actual final round. 24 to 48 hours depending on the timing. That's how long you have to come up with a world-changing message speech. I have seen people try to do it. It is not pretty. I was sitting in Kuala Lumpur next to one of the other semifinal winners, and it's amazing. Once you win the semifinal round, somebody from Toastmasters just grabs you and they whisk you off the stage. It's like the president and the Secret Service. And there are people who want my district is here, they want to take pictures. And, no, you have to come with us now. And they whisk you into a room in the bowels of the convention center, and they put you in a chair and they stick a camera in your face, and so what does it feel like to win? Good. I was sitting next to this gentleman, he looked at me and he said, so, do you have your just-in-case speech? And I said, what's a just-in-case speech? You know, the outline of one that you have just in case you win the semifinals. It didn't dawn on me that that was a real thing. I looked at him and I said, no, I came here with 2 speeches. I came with 2 speeches, the one that I gave in the semifinals and the one that I was preparing to give in the finals. It's not like I thought I was going to make it to the finals, but I didn't want to have to figure out how to write a speech in 2 days. The Boy Scouts remind you of this. Be prepared, right? Will Smith reminds you of this. He says, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Lesson number 4, raise money, lots of it. Kuala Lumpur, my first international convention, was the first time Toastmasters held their conference outside the United States, 12,000 miles away. Woohoo! Yeah, fortunately the exchange rate was great. How do you do that? Well, the districts are barred from actually giving you money, so you've got to figure this out on your own. Set up a GoFundMe page, or an Indiegogo, or one of the other crowdfunding things, and then go around to as many clubs as possible and speak for money. Hit up your friends and go ahead. Unless you're just well off and you go, oh yeah, well, I don't care where it is, the moon, fine, I'll just write a check. Unless you have that kind of money, you might need a little help from your friends. Lesson number 5, get there early to the international convention site and then practice. If it's all the way across country, get there at least 2 days early. This is why you need a lot of money, because you're gonna need to stay at a hotel unless you got friends who you do couch surfing. You're gonna need to, you trust me on this, you wanna get over the jet lag, you wanna get accustomed to the new time zone, and you wanna familiarize yourselves with the surroundings. I got to Kuala Lumpur probably 4 days early, just because. The first thing I did when I got to my hotel and figured out where that was, I took a cab over to the convention center, and I found the room where the finals would be. Not the semifinals, the finals. And the technicians were in there setting up the monitors and running cable and all of that stuff. And what do you think I did? I stood right there in the middle of the stage and I did both of my speeches. I put my energy in that place. There's something that came over me that said, yeah, I belong here. 2 days later, I was there. Lesson number 6, don't try new foods. Woo, I wish I had that one before I had that lesson. I was in Kuala Lumpur and I tried the black bun, what I thought was chicken. You're in a new place, experience the culture. Try new things, they said. Have you had the black bun chicken? It's great. Yeah, the night before. Yummy. Yummy is delicious. Get back to the hotel room a couple hours later. Oh, no! I will spare you what happened over the next several hours. Let's just say I spent more time in the bathroom than I did in my bed. I don't think I got any sleep the night before. And that's when I was reminded about the lesson of courage. If I only had the nerve. Because I reached the point I was so sick, I thought, there's no way in the world I'm going to be able to walk onto that stage and give my speech. I can't do it. I don't know that I can stay out of the bathroom long enough to actually 5 to 7 minutes. I don't think it's physically possible. And then something clicked in me and said, oh, no, you don't. You have worked too hard to let food poisoning sidetrack you. Courage doesn't always work. Sometimes courage is that quiet voice at the end of the day saying, try again tomorrow. You are capable of more than you know. And that's what I was reminded of. I can do this. I have it within me. I don't know how, I just know that I can. You got this far. What's the point of having ruby slippers if you never put them on? What's the point of actually getting here if you never walk on the stage? To get right up to the edge of your dream, your goal, and not jump. Steve Harvey has a great speech about jump. Watch that if you haven't seen it, by the way. So I said to my body, okay, do what you need to do, but don't spend an ounce of energy more than is absolutely necessary. I just had that conversation with myself. So I was able to keep it together, put my clothes on, gingerly walk to the cab, drive me to the top real slow, please driver, thank you. Made it there, found where I needed to be for the contestants. This was the green room in the back, it was lovely. And then I took my jacket off, I hadn't put my tie on yet. They put a mic on me, and I laid down on that couch. I curled up in a ball. No shoes, and I was quiet until it was time to go on stage. I didn't move. It was kind of, I felt like Yoda. Remember Yoda before he fought Count Dooku? He comes in, he's got the little cane, Yoda's moving slow. I was moving slow like Yoda, right? But when time came to actually fight the Count, what did Yoda do? Yoda just jumped into bad mode. Jumping all over the place. Frail you thought I was. Fooled you I did. And Yoda just jumped in and just did his thing. And I jumped out on stage and did my thing. And I'm not saying that to boast, I'm saying that to remind you you are stronger than you give yourselves credit for.
You are stronger than you think you are. Some of you are facing a challenge right now. I'm not going to ask you to say what it is or turn to somebody and go, yeah, I'm facing a challenge. But you know who you are and you know that you are. And what's true, you showed up this morning. You showed up. You are still standing.